But I also think that this is a wonderful year in which we recognise that there is no objective truth in the industry. Metacritic's a kind of weird system. I think there was a stigma around talking about video games. I think we had to make excuses for it in some way, you know. I see a lot of the narrative around video games is, God, do you know video games are really cool, actually? I'm going, yeah, I think millions of people already know that. They say don't meet your heroes, and then there's also another phrase about something about making sausages, and I kind of like the sausage. It's kind of fun. Clip that.
Take one.
It's a very normal.
Well, hi Ben.
Hello.
Lovely to see you. I was wondering if we could start with just like a tiny bit of background on yourself as a gamer. I gather you're quite a big one, lifelong.
I'm a big gamer. Yeah, I love games. They are my passion and my hobby. And very rarely do I think people get to kind of work in that industry in a way that I have. Like, I love acting. I've always been a very extroverted individual. So to get to be an actor is one gift, but then get to be an actor in my other passion is even more cool. I've been playing video games since I was like 6. You know, I started with the Game Boy, then I moved up to hanging out on my friends' Mega Drives, and then it moved to PlayStation, and I've been a PlayStation kid ever since, and just been absolutely obsessed. And obviously dabbled in Switches and Wii's, and it's been my kind of go-to hobby for my entire life, and it's one that I was so proud to kind of take into my adult life and to be able to fit it into my life. And it was always such an integral way of me playing games as a way that I make sense of the world around me. You know, some people watch films, they read books, they listen to audio dramas. I play video games, and it's been a medium that I've always been so excited about, and one that I've kind of evangelized for such a long time. So to get to talk about it with you, and to get to talk about it since I've been able to kind of professionally work in that arena has been so exciting, because I just kind of get it. I get it because I feel the things that we're kind of, the people who are playing the games feel, because I am a person who plays them. And I love them on kind of like a spiritual and emotional level.
And what are like some of your all-time
faves? I would say, the types of games that I love, obviously I've had wonderful experiences with multiplayer games over my life, but really I would say the games that really hit me are the ones that I have experienced an emotional journey with. So the game that I speak about a lot that changed my life was Final Fantasy VIII. It was the first big long form game that I played, and that series has had a huge impact on my life, personally and professionally. But Mass Effect is this incredible 3-4 games if you count Andromeda, kind of. I count Andromeda. It's technically a continuation of the story. This amazing space opera that you can make these huge decisions and actually affect the outcome of the universe that you shape is amazing. And getting to invest time in these characters, I'll never forget Would You Kindly in BioShock. I will never forget the first time that I played the opening to The Last of Us. I will never forget just God of War in general. And I'm talking about like God of War even when he was angry Kratos. Like these games have such a way of affecting us emotionally and being with these characters for such a long time, and people whose performances I greatly admire. But I think video games, they are not one thing. It's like saying, do you like TV? Do you like the news? Or do you like, sports? They're all very, very different things, and they're equally as valid. So if you're playing, EA Sports, EAFC, or you're playing Inscription, or you're playing Candy Crush, they're all equally valid. They bring you joy in the way that you want to, experience them. But for me personally, it's like, I've had such a great time with survival horror games, with emotional, big, long RPGs. But again, I mentioned Inscription, one of my favorite games of all time. That is a deck building, existential exploration of what it means to be a video game. It's very, very cool, and we are a part of a medium that has the capacity to tell stories in all of these amazing ways by the nature of it being interactive, and that's why I think it's so cool.
Like you say, you've managed to bring gaming into your professional adult life. Yeah. What has it been like kind of seeing behind the curtain of how games get made?
They say don't meet your heroes, and then there's also another phrase about something about making sausages, and I kind of like the sausage. It's kind of fun. Clip that. It's been really cool because I have consumed the media and literature around video games for such a long time, and I was so nervous about entering that realm, and I get interviewed by people whose work I really admire. I get to work with people whose work I've really admired for a long time, and I think there is a humanity to this industry. I think a lot of people want to tell you that there isn't, but my experience is that it is. Like, people who work in this industry work in it because it's hard, and if they're still working in it, it's because they absolutely love it, because this industry doesn't want to love people back, really. So you've really got to love it. And those people who stick around because they have a deep, deep, deep passion and understanding for what it is to make video games. And it has been such a cool experience getting to hang out with people who have that level of passion and drive. I think there is a stigma around talking about video games. I think we have to make excuses for it in some way, you know. I see a lot of the narrative around video games is, God, do you know video games are really cool, actually? I'm going, yeah, I think millions of people already know that. I think there is this tendency to say it's a dirty secret to play video games, when in fact it is, as we say, it is an incredibly profitable industry, but it doesn't need to be profitable to have value, I think. I don't think it actually makes loads of money kind of cool is the reason why we should say why video games are amazing. They're amazing because of what they can do for us, the experiences that they can provide us with. That's all down to the people who make the games. And so, yeah, my experience has been those people are great. They're always heads, but mostly they're amazing. And it's been the most rewarding experience of my life to get to meet them and work with them.
Last time we met was at the big preview event for Final
Yes.
Fantasy 16, which was quite surreal, being at the Tower of London for a game.
How was that for you?
It was good, yeah, it was lovely,
Yeah?
yeah. I wanted to have another go.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, obviously, since then, you know, the game has come out, the DLCs have come out, people
Yeah.
have you know, taken it all in and reacted to it in various ways. What has the journey been like for you since then to now?
The journey from Final Fantasy to now, as all journeys are peaks and troughs, I think the way that I have been welcomed by the Final Fantasy community, and I think the wider gaming community in general, has been so surreal. But I think I would be lying to you if it wasn't like constantly up and down. I think, you know, it's such an extreme experience to go from kind of like 0 to 100 miles an hour and be kind of very much thrust into the glare of scrutiny, really, because it's, you know, Final Fantasy is such an important franchise for video games in general, and it is kind of a litmus test for where we are, you know. And what Final Fantasy means is, you know, it's been so much a part of the legacy of video games to be like, you're going to be front and center of this big old franchise. But the experience was ultimately amazing. I think the net has been outstandingly positive. Hence why I'm here right now. Why, like, I'm about to host the Golden Joysticks. Like, I'm not dead yet. You know, like it's really cool, and I want to do more and more and more of this, and I want to stick around and. To be able to kind of be a steward for at least an hour and a half on Thursday the 21st of November to go, this is where we're at for 2024, these are the games that people have really enjoyed this year, is really cool. I still find it weird that people know who I am. So to be able to stand up and be like, and the winner is, like, that's really weird, but very, very cool. So yeah, big old journey, loads more of the journey to go. The fact that I'm still working is a miracle to me. I am doing everything I possibly can to undermine every single amount of artistic integrity that I have by being myself. But it's been really fun.
Yeah, what was it like to win at the Golden Joysticks last year and to kind of get that kind of recognition as well?
I think to win an award is nice. But as with most things that happened last year and continue to happen to me, I think understanding the impact outside of the exact moment is very difficult. It's nice, you get a really cool award, and I got really drunk and I was actually sick next to my award afterwards. I got so drunk that I got in the taxi home and I had such a lovely time. I think I'd done like immense amounts of glasses of Prosecco, and then I went, no, now it's time for tequila, and I thought that was a good thing. And I got in the cab home, and I remember getting out and go, oh, I'm going to be sick. So I put my award down on the side of the road, and I was sick right next to it. So how did it feel? Well, it felt like that. It felt like me vomiting on the side of the road, but nothing like a real human experience that can like humble you, properly humble you. Weird word, that humble. Because it really doesn't feel humble at all. People go, we really like you, you're great. But again, all of these experiences that happened to me. And yet I know that by me winning the award, there were lots of people who voted for me because the work, what that game meant, what that character meant a lot to those other people. So you recognizing that you winning an award means something to you, but it means something entirely different to the people who voted for you, because they're saying this character, who isn't me as a character, has had an effect on my life, and I want to put the time in, even if it is a couple of clicks on a website, to say I would like this, to recognize this. And it's been really cool over the past year to see that character be recognized more and more and more and more and more. And I also know that, like, yes, I've been very lucky to get the recognition, but there are so many other people who also play that character. So yeah, I think it is testament to the work, the writing, the team, that character in general, that he's still, you know, in 2024, he is considered to be a good Final Fantasy protagonist, which is neat because there's been a lot of them. And understanding that whatever you experience, other people outside of it are experiencing something different. So it's not just for me, it's kind of for everyone else.
Nice. And was it weird with Clive to kind of put him to bed at the end of the game? Like, it's quite a final kind of ending to it, and then obviously you did the DLCs as well. Was it weird to kind of say that's done now and move on?
It's always weird to say I'm done with it, and I think the people will decide when they're done with it. I don't think they're done with Clive yet. I will never be one to say I want to get rid of that character, because that character is always going to be with me. You know, on my tombstone, I'm sure it was, "Here lies Ben Starr. He was Clive Rosfield at one point." I'm so thankful for the opportunities that character gave me. It means that whatever I go on to play, if I ever get to play anything as kind of iconic as that character, it will be because of him. It'll be because of that opportunity. So there will always be the DNA of that experience in it. And there will be some people who will only ever play that game that I'm in. They will not play anything else that I'm a part of. So, you know, understanding that and respecting that is part of the job. I don't certainly want to be like, I'm done with that now. Like, if that is how you know me and that is how you want to remember me, then cool. I will always be that character for you, and that's good. But yeah, professionally I've moved on, but personally I never will. You know, it's too cool. It's Final Fantasy. It's my favorite franchise of all time. I'm never going to forget it, whether I try to or not. But I've just gone, let's look, you know, to the future now, not the past.
In terms of future stuff, have you got anything you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about Expedition 33. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. We had a really jazzy cast announcement where they announced a very, very cool and fun cast. I've been so excited about that game for a very long time, and I've been excited because not many people knew about it, and it is an entirely new IP from a new team. I play a mysterious character called Verso. It was wonderful to listen to the fandom around that game, which already exists, the excitement for that game, kind of guess who I was going to play, because people recognized my voice from the first trailer, and I'm going, I'm not playing who you think. That's really cool, and the cast is amazing, and the performances are brilliant, really, really brilliant. In particular, Jennifer English, who plays Mael, her work is outstanding. Obviously, she's amazing as Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3, and is quite rightly getting the recognition for how wonderful she is in that game. But I really hope that I'm really pleased that people are going to get to experience how wonderful she really is in Expedition 33. And Hades 2, I mean, that game, I love Hades because Hades is one of my favorite games of all time. I think Supergiant are like on another level when it comes to making games, and their attention to detail is second to none. The way they interact with fans is so remarkable. And the way that they listen to fans, you know, they could have just put Hades 2 out, but they went, no, we're going to put it through early access and test it and test it and test it. And that is why they create amazing games, because they go, we're making this for you, and we're going to keep adding to it and adding to it, and we're going to listen to you and refine it so that this is not just created by us, but it's refined by you. Yeah, I love the community because they've already started doing kind of Prometheus, Clive combined artworks, because they're both fire-based characters, which has been awesome. And then I've also got Kazan, the first Berserker Kazan, which is a hardcore action RPG coming out, where I play Kazan. And if you like hardcore action RPGs, that is a hardcore action RPG. It's brutal, but beautiful. I keep admiring the artwork when we've been working on it, going, wow, this is a beautiful looking game. And the team really have made something that is very artistically satisfying and fun, you know. I play a sexy, big-chested guy with white hair who's been wronged, and like, sounds familiar. And there are obviously other wonderful experiences that I'm getting to work on at the moment, but those are the ones that I can primarily talk about. On
the Golden Joysticks, what have you been doing in preparation? Do you have to play all the games and think of witticisms about them all?
I play all the games, naturally play all the games, which I'm very lucky that, because I only play good games. No, yeah, doing it all really is finding ways in which we can kind of like honour and reflect on the year that we've just had, and reflect on it in an honest way. I don't speak for the games, and I don't speak for the industry. I speak for myself, but hopefully that I can help usher in a ceremony that allows us to feel like we can speak freely. That's what I want. And so my preparation is kind of how can we create an environment that people feel safe, they feel seen, and most importantly, they feel heard. And that probably seems really high and mighty that I'm saying that, but like I really feel like that's it, right? It's like, it's the people who win awards, not the games. So I am hoping that that is what we have, and I'll be an idiot. I'll just be an idiot for you. I will be your court jester, so you can have a good time.
Would there be obviously there's a big long list of nominees, are there any kind of personal favourites of yours in there, or ones you'd like to kind of shine a light on that haven't?
I think that I'm not going to say what my favourite games of the year are, because that would be, I'll say afterwards, but I really wanted this one to win. But I also think that this is a wonderful year in which we recognise that there is no objective truth in the industry. Metacritic's a kind of weird system, really, because we're talking about aggregation of quality, and there is no objective quality. People talk about like really loving 7 out of 10 games, that you love like a 10 out of 10 game. What does that mean? Why did we choose to go, this is a 10 out of 10 game? Like, no, we are not. When we talk about a video game, we're not talking about how good the video game is. We're talking about how meaningful the experience was when we played that game. You know, how did that video game unlock an experience that is memorable to me? So it doesn't matter if a game wins an award or loses an award, or your favorite performer doesn't win the award. The fact is that the fact that you feel that it's had that effect on you, that's enough. They don't need to take home a trophy. They don't need to get 90 plus on Metacritic. They don't need to do whatever. Have your experience, that's yours, that's cool, and just enjoy it. No one else can take that away from you. As much as you might feel like they're trying to, if you loved something, that is yours. You know, I have constantly spoken about how much I love Final Fantasy VIII. I have so many people tell me that it's not the best one, and I go, that's okay. I will never let your bad experience with that game, which I totally understand why, take away from mine, which has been so meaningful and so important because it has allowed me to develop as a person. So love whatever games you want. People talk about the legacy of what games are, and the legacy is whatever experiences you choose to take away from whatever games you play. They don't have to be objectively good, because what is objective quality? I don't know, you know. Well, it doesn't glitch out. I'm like, some of my favorite games of all time are the glitchiest games. So what is that? So yeah, whatever it is, enjoy whatever makes you happy.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And
You're very welcome.
the only other thing I wanted to mention was that thank you so much for your sharing your Mario audition with the world.
You're very
social.
welcome.
I love that.
It's a real shame I didn't get that. I really thought I was a shoo-in. Actually, I'm doing a game at the moment called Warframe 1999, which comes out in December. And I play Arthur Nightingale in it. And there is another actor in it called Kevin Afghani, who is the voice of Mario in it. Yeah, so the actual voice of Mario I play a lot. We have scenes together in Warframe 1999. So that man stole my role. No, he didn't. I haven't actually met Kevin yet. I'm meeting him in December. But yeah, I will congratulate. That was fun. What a fun platform to kind of like joke, and be unfortunately far too much myself.